Good morning, all. EV Darrell. So we are packing, getting ready. The Tesla is finishing up on its charge. So I will say what I've been using is my General Motors level 2 charger to charge the Tesla. I've noticed sometimes a 32 amp charger. And so let me take you over here on the other side of Thor. I notice sometimes when it's warm out, and it's only 80 degrees in the garage, sometimes it goes from 32 amp down to 24 amp. I don't know if that's an overheat mechanism in that charger. I don't know. So when I scheduled the Model Y to be ready to go at, I don't know, 7 o'clock this morning or something like that, and it's like 6:40, I think. We're only at 98%. It says we still got 45 minutes remaining. You can't see that through the window, I don't think. But it says 45 minutes remaining to 100%. We wanted to leave with 100%. So anyway, we're going to get packed up and we'll see where we're at here in the next, say, 20 minutes. And we have enough charge already to get to our first stop. So this is our West Coast trip. West Coast, sorry. Halfway to the West Coast. How about that? Our Colorado mountain trip. Stay safe. Stand by. Freedom. Freedom to flourish. All right. Here we are entering Nebraska. Welcome to Nebraska. There it is, crossing over into Omaha. Well, we decided to pull over at the Welcome to Colorado sign. So here we are entering the great state of Colorado.
And 30 minutes remaining.
must still be charging. Hey, good evening, everybody. Welcome to Estes Park, Colorado. So let's go over some numbers. Um, as you've seen in some of those stats along the way, we took pictures as we entered into different states along the way. The Model Y was fantastic. Love the car. We had no issues. Of course, it's a brand new car, but it drove great. It drove fantastic. So let's go over some stuff. We left yesterday morning from Central Illinois, okay? And we left with about a 99% charge. I was trying to get it to 100, but we were in a hurry to get going, so it was at 99. But so our first stop was in Iowa City. Now I mapped it from, we decided we were going to stay in Kearney halfway on the trip, Kearney, Nebraska, about 600 miles. So what we did was I mapped it on the Tesla computer, and it changed it on me early on. We were the night before, it said we were going to go to Iowa City, Iowa, and plug in. Then we were going to go to Des Moines, I think, or somewhere like that. And then it was having us go to Shelby, Iowa, and something else. Anyway, in the morning it had changed, and it wanted us to go to the Iowa 80 truck stop first, which is closer to home. I mean, that was literally an hour and 30 minutes into our drive. And we wanted to go at least 2 hours. I mean, I had a full charge, so we wanted to go at least two something. So anyway, what I did was I canceled the navigation, and then I navigated to the Iowa City supercharger. It was great. It was a 250 kilowatt, really fast. It was good. It ramped up quick. So that was awesome. And then we ended up going, it mapped us to Altoona, which is a suburb of Des Moines. We went there for our second stop. And you'll see them along them stops. I have it in the map. You saw those where we stopped along the way. And then we went to Shelby, Iowa. Then we went to Lincoln, Nebraska. Then Kearney, and spent the night in Kearney. So this morning, we needed to leave with about an 80% charge. So I had charged up in Kearney, Nebraska as a supercharger. And it was only a 150 kilowatt charger. So then this morning, I only had 77% charge. So it had been, the camera had ran during the night at the hotel and had used up, Sentry mode had used 3%. So when I got up, there was a J1772 that was basically half a block away. I went over, plugged it in, and charged there for like an hour and a half to get it back up to like 83 or 85%. We took off from there. So then we went to Ogallala, Nebraska, as you saw, then Brush, Colorado, and that's it. We arrived here. We still had over 100 miles left on the charge. And so at our condo or Airbnb, I've got it plugged in here just at a 110. I'm just going to charge here overnight. There is a supercharger that's in here in town. Anytime we need to do that, I'll just run by there. But I wanted to run by the cost first of all. So my estimation on it, if I put 75 kilowatts in at home at 12 cents a kilowatt, that's $9. Okay. So I said $9 from home. Iowa City cost me $8.28.
Altoona, Iowa cost $16.93. Shelby, Iowa was $10.44. Lincoln, Nebraska was $13.28. Kearney, Nebraska, $17.32. Charge Point charged me $1.45 this morning because I charged for whatever, an hour and a half. So, and then Ogallala, Nebraska was $16.66. Brush, Colorado was $17.34. And all of them are superchargers except for the Charge Point that we did in Kearney this morning. That's a grand total of $114.70. Okay. So a little bit cheaper. I checked it with what our van would have cost. I checked the price of gas on the way out here. Our van would have cost us about 140, 145 to drive out here one way, 1,000 miles. So love the car. Everything was phenomenal with it. Very happy. Very, very happy. Okay. That's from the positive side. You know, the elephant in the room, FSD. Personally, I wasn't overly impressed. It made a lot of mistakes, and some of them were severe. Some of the stuff that it liked to do, it loved to hang out in the passing lane. And if I was only running, say, 5 over, if the speed limit was 70 and I was running 75, I would get run off the road. So I had to turn the turn signal on to try to get it into the slow lane. But a lot of times it would dive into the slow lane almost over the fog line and then cut back. It went too far. It doesn't know what it's doing on my car. I know people will tell me how great it is, and they haven't, Anyway. So it did that, and then it would want to go on its own back over into the fast lane until someone was coming up on my tail, and then it would try to cut back over on its own. Didn't like that. Several times it turned on a turn signal when I had a semi next to me as we were passing a semi, and I stopped it because I wanted to make sure we were right next to a semi, that it wasn't going to actually go. There were several times my wife said she felt like she was going to get motion sickness in the back from what it was doing. And I finally, we were keeping track of all the different problems it was having. When you change lanes, even to go to the fast lane, like when you come up behind a car, it wasn't automatically going into the fast lane and passing a car when I was catching up. It would stay behind the car. So I had to manually turn the turn signal on, and then it would go. But again, it would dive into the fast lane as fast as it could go. And then another thing is it sped up. Say the car in front of me was running 65 and I had my cruise set at 75. If it slowed down to 65, when it got in the other lane, it got to 75 before we got to that car. It made sure it got me to 75, which I just think should be gradual. I turned it off in Kearney, Nebraska. I said, enough of that. Enough of that. We went with autopilot the rest of the way. Autopilot was smooth turns. Like you turn the turn signal on and it actually turned an autopilot for me. Nice. Into the other lane, back and forth. Stayed in the lane. Autopilot was fantastic. So very pleased with that. The car was very comfortable. We really enjoyed ourselves. The drive was very good. We tried to stop every couple hours, whether it was for a supercharger or for a milkshake or whatever. Oh, the winds are blowing. If that camera's shaking, I'm sorry. I'll try to keep an eye on it. So, but one last thing about autopilot, I wanted to say, I get that a lot of people like autopilot, and that's fine. If you like it, that's fine. It does numerous things wrong. Numerous things. We're a long ways away from FSD being top notch. Let's just put it that way. So I'm not gonna delve into the big problems. I mean, if you love FSD, that's great. I'm just talking about me personally and the problems I had. Okay. So with that, I just want you to know we're here. We're going to spend a week here and enjoy it. So just stay safe. Please like, subscribe, and ring the bell. Stay safe, everybody.